Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Austin here, and we're here to do another of our industry moments. And today we're taking a look into the education space. And who better to talk to about that than Bill Verhagen, who is the co-founder and managing director of Green Angel. And more specifically, wanted to talk to Bill today about his PP5 Circular Economy Education Program. So good morning, Bill, and welcome along. And could you tell us a little bit more about what is Green Angel?
Hi, Austin, and thanks for having me. By the way, this is a great opportunity. Hey, I've been in you know it, but a lot of other people won't know. I've been in the plastics industry now for about 38 years. I think I've stopped counting, but long time. And I got to a point where I felt like there was a need to do something around education and give something back in terms of the education of young people. And so I started Green Angel in the idea's been around for a while, but sort of early 2021 with the idea of accelerating our progress as a society towards a circular economy, but with a particular focus on education of young people.
Yeah, okay, excellent. And Bill, you talk about your background of 38 years in the plastics industry, and we'll
Yeah.
talk more about Green Angel and more specifically about the program in a minute. But, can you tell us a little bit about because I know it, but, a lot of people who are listening may not know it, but tell us a little bit about your 38 years in the plastics industry, and how that sort of, brought you to where you are today into the education space.
Well, what happened for me was that I started doing electrical engineering at RMIT many years ago, and I kind of was, I don't know, I just couldn't seem to see the connection between that and a real job or a real life. And anyway, I left. Long story, I left the program, and then I travelled around Australia for a while and got my head together, and I landed a job with a plastics company called Battenfeld in the store, and I was a storeman, and I got interested in the equipment they were supplying and what they were doing. I'd had no experience at all, and anyway, I approached my job and I said, my boss, and I said, would you be prepared to support me to do some short course training at Dandenong TAFE? And I started that, and that just led to this huge, incredible interest in plastics. And from there, I went and I did the diploma at RMIT in plastics technology and engineering. I got a job with a company now called Qenos, back then called Compol, as a trainee technologist. And I really never looked back. I loved it. And I could see that there was a huge future for me in this industry. And yeah, my career sort of progressed from there in all sorts of different roles. But in the early days, I was also involved in training. We used to do Plastics 101 for the Plastics Industry Association at the time. And, I used to get up there and talk to people who were coming in the industry about polyethylene and about plastics in general. And I really always enjoyed that space. And so in the last sort of few years, I've had this idea of becoming an educator and trying to give something back, and recognizing also that most people in our society know very little about plastics, and yet it's one of the big issues that we talk about in terms of sustainability, circular economy, and environmental impact now. So I felt that there was a need to try and close that gap. And so I came up with another partner the idea of a program, and we incorporated the company Green Angel.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt that education around the circular economy and education around plastics is really important as we move forward.
Yeah.
It's such a big part of our lives. We touch plastic and use plastic every day, and yet there's so much misinformation about sustainability and around, carbon and footprint efficiency of certain plastic packaging items, and
Yep.
around real recycling that is taking place. Notwithstanding the fact that there needs to be a lot more of it, but. So if you could tell us a little bit more, Bill, we'll be releasing a video this week that we helped you with, and it covers the program in a little bit more detail, specifically in terms of your interaction with the school. And the first school you've been working with is the Catholic Regional College in North Keilor.
Yeah.
But could you just tell us a little bit more around the program itself and how you're interacting and educating with educating the students around the circular economy?
Yeah, so my support of the school has been from the school has been wonderful. They they clearly could see a need to have some kind of starting point education around this area. And I presented to them the idea of this circular economy program using PP5. A lot of people have asked me why use PP5, but because I wanted the 5 code to be identifiable in the program, because a lot of people, interestingly, don't even know what PP is, let alone what code 5 is on containers and packaging. So, we're at a very, very low level, low bar as far as a starting point, but the school was very keen to look at it. And I selected PP because it's so easily identifiable. And from a recycling rate point of view, we've got a lot of work to do in this country, particularly if we look at our aspirations for the national packaging targets. So when I presented the program to the school, they were really excited to take that on board. And what I've done is I've linked in initially. This year we'll expand the program, but last year, my first year, was with the school's Audiamus program. So that's year 9 students specifically. And that's a year when they look at areas around innovation, creativity, and new ideas. And so I've introduced that as one of the possible options that the students could study. And the program really runs all the way through from the United Nations Sustainability Goals, which a lot of people aren't familiar with, but they do exist at a global level, and then running all the way through the different types of waste streams that we have in this country, some of the problem areas, and then running into some of the more technical stuff around plastics and why they're different and how they're used and so forth. And then, of course, at the end of last year, COVID got in our way a bit, but we were able to introduce the collection process, which is talked about in the video that we've done with Sally, and you guys have been so helpful with. So the idea of the collection was for the kids to literally bring in containers, clean containers from home. There's containers being sold from the canteen at the school that are polypropylene, and to collect those and then demonstrate to them through excursions or even in-house reprocessing of that material. So that's something that I'm very keen on, how they can actually, in a hands-on way, utilize those materials to manufacture new products. And I think that's really the light bulb moment for a lot of young people when they see that and they hear about that possibility. So that's very exciting for me.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of opportunities, and polypropylene is such a versatile product. The mind really starts to get going and thinking about different products that the schools could be, remanufacturing, with the help of the students collecting that material and really touching the circular economy and actually doing something with it in a tactile way. So I think it's a really fantastic program. And obviously, hopefully with this year being less affected by COVID, Bill, and moving forward, what do you sort of see as the future what do you see as the future for Green Angel, over the next couple of years?
Well, for me, this is thinking about what are the goals for the business, and what am I trying to kind of achieve? What would look like a good result for our business in years to come? And I think what would look like a good result is if we have something that's very impactful for young people that we can assist schools with to implement and integrate into their curriculum. It doesn't have to be about plastics. I mean, you and I come from plastics, Austin, but this year I've actually introduced another parallel program in the school called Zero Waste Communities. And that looks more broadly at all of the waste streams that are coming out of a school community and trying to think about ways in which we can circularize those as well. So one example of that is food waste. So there's a lot of food waste generated at schools through their food tech area, the old cooking classes, now called food tech, and that waste can be potentially composted. It can be part of a garden at the school. So I'm having those conversations because they're also part of the circular economy. But in parallel to that, the PP5 program will not just be this year for the year 9s. It will be also across the whole school, and we'll be doing a promotional program on that so that the whole school becomes engaged in this thing. But going forward, this is about two things. One is engagement of young people at the school level, and having them feel empowered about what's going on. Because I know a lot, when I talk to young people, a lot of them actually feel a bit anxious about environmental issues these days. There's a lot of press about it. And one of the reasons I believe that's happening is because we're not empowering them with knowledge and information to do something about it. And you guys, Martogg, the industry generally is doing incredible stuff. We've got a massive booming recycling business coming in this country, and yet our young people know nothing about it. And so that's one of my goals. And then the final extension to that, of course, is vocational training. This is critical. So I was fortunate enough to train at places like Dandenong TAFE, had a full factory literally of commercial size equipment for me to play around with, which I did. I then went to RMIT, who had even more sophisticated equipment that I was able to learn and develop my skills and knowledge on, right? Almost none of that exists today. And that's a real problem. So we need to actually think about how we're going to formally educate the young people of the future. And that might be linking into the VET programs, the TAFE system, whatever it may be, to ensure that our young people not only are trained and well skilled, but also see the huge contribution they can make in this industry. You know, we're now not just talking about manufacturing with plastics. We're actually talking about circular economy and a very, very sustainable model for the future. And I think it's I think it ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people because they're looking for some purpose in the work that they do. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's just so much opportunity over the next few years, the next decade, the next few decades, in the plastics industry, and there's so much scope for people to make a really meaningful difference. Certainly in the sustainability space as well. So, congratulations on the program, Bill. It's been a really fantastic experience for us to be involved in it. We've learned a lot, obviously from our perspective, but. So just to finish off, Bill, if someone wants to view the video or find out more about the program, we'll include a link to your website and a link to the video, obviously, which I think you're going to post at the same time as this video goes live on your LinkedIn page. But how best should people get in contact with you if they want to talk to you about the program or about the Green Angel?
yeah, so I have a website, has my contact details on it. We'll be posting the wonderful video that you guys have put together for me with Sally. And so that will be a contact. My mobile number's on there. I'm very pleased to talk to anybody about this subject. There's a lot of work to be done. And yeah, please call me.
Okay, excellent. Well, there you have it, everyone. That was a really interesting talk with Bill Verhagen about the Green Angel program. So please go across to the it's the Green Angel LinkedIn page, is it, Bill, or is it your personal page?
Green Angel LinkedIn page, my personal page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then greenangel.com.au as well.
Okay, so go across and have a look at the video, and yeah, look forward to seeing what the next year or two have in store, Bill.
Austin, thanks very much, and thanks for your tremendous support too. You've been a real champion, a real great supporter of mine. I really appreciate it. And to all the team at Martogg, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks again, Bill. Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Bye.